Hello, everybody. Um, so today, in the continuing saga of all things that have to happen before we go to Indiana, today I our fantastic uh, master electrician for the district, Rob Curtis, came over. He built for us an adapter. So we have the turntable, which takes more power than you can get from just plugging it into a regular wall outlet. Um, and when we travel, when we rent the turntable out, which we have a couple of times, or when it goes to other places, sometimes even other places in the district, like other schools that we've gone to, it is a challenge sometimes to get power run to it. Now, most theaters have what's called a company box, and the company box is the power tie-in where you can put things like extra sound system, a motor, giant projectors, whatever you might need large draws of electricity for. That is not attached to anything else. It is just its own thing. Um, so we're renting it out uh, at the end of this month, actually Monday. It's going out on rental. And then we'll be at Parkside at the Rita and then in Indiana, of course. So we we don't want and we don't need as much power as the company box is kicking out, but we need more power than just plugging into the wall. So Rob made us a fantastic adapter so that we can draw two hots from two different circuits, regular wall outlets, and plug it into the motor, plug it into the control box for the motor, which converts it to DC, and then the motor will turn. Yay! So he came over. We were out in the storage, and we found two outlets out in the storage, and we ran extension cords, and we plugged them in, and nothing happened. The indicator light came on, but nothing happened, and we were baffled because he knows what he's doing, and it worked in his shop. So we troubleshot around for a little while, and first we discovered, okay, we've got two different circuits, but it's still in the same phase, and we needed two different phases of electricity. So we had to find a different numbered circuit so that we had two different phases. So we did that, and we plugged it in. Still nothing. And then we realized, okay, these are ground fault interrupt outlets, and it was reading because there was no negative return. It was reading it as a fault. So it now the converter itself, the adapter itself, has a fuse. So we're not unsafe, but the outlet didn't know that. So it's kind of like doesn't matter what it's kind of like. I won't bore you with that part of it. So Uh, so it was like, we can't test it out here because we're out at the stadium and there's a lot of moisture and it's covered, but it's not climate controlled. The outlets in the stadium are all GFIs. So we rolled everything. I rolled everything back into the theater. You should see me pushing this 600-pound motor through the parking lot. It's like the little sleds that the football team pushes across the field. He would have been very proud of me. Um, got it in, plugged it in. I'm like, okay, this will work this time. We know what we've got. Plugged it in, and we still had nothing. And I tried different outlets that I knew were correct. Still nothing. Um, I called. Then I'm like, okay, so let me check and make sure that the motor is working because we had just had it sent out to get serviced. So I plugged it in as we normally would into the 20 amp connector that we normally use when we run it, and then I got nothing. I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is not an adapter problem. There's something wrong with the motor. So first thing you check is your connector. Like it's like just the first thing you check is the light bulb. If the lamp doesn't work, the first thing you check is the light bulb. Uh, so I opened the connector and everything looked fine to me. I do know how to wire a connector. I called the company. I called our Peter Albrecht company, the company that built the motor for us, and I said, Todd, this is the problem that I'm having. can I open this? What do I do? Is there a path that I can check? And he said, well, check the connector. I said, yes, okay, check the connector. So then I just started going through and checking all the connectors. And there's a lot of there's more involved than just the straight up wiring. There is I did not get in and pull the guts out, um, but I just followed the path of the wiring to make sure that everything looked connected. Um, Tightened everything back down. Called Rob to come over and said, "Hey, it's not working, and now it's really not working. Can you come over and take a look?" And so he came over, and I think it must have been in the connector because when I tightened everything back down, put everything back together, plugged it all back in, everything worked just fine. And it was funny because it was just at that moment that Rob walked in, and I said, "Clearly, you are magic, and it is functioning because it didn't want to disappoint you." Um, so that was my morning. Was taking care of that. And in addition, we then had the rigging guys from Main Stage come because our theater's getting redone. You've heard me talk about that story if you've been playing the home game. And we were talking about getting our what they're going to do over the summer with the rigging system. So we're very excited about that. So it was a full day of having other professionals come in and help deal with stuff in our theater, and all of that to say this: the more people you can get to play in your sandbox, the better your shows are going to be, the better your life is going to be, quite honestly. Having reliable people, um, like Rob, um, like the guys from Main Stage, like the guys from Peter Albrecht Company, having those people who know their job and calling them when you know you need them makes life so much easier. There are so many people out there who are willing, able, and ready to help your project succeed, whatever your project is. In my case, it's making the turntable function, and I have people there to help me make that happen. Don't be afraid to call professionals. I am a professional who calls professionals. Professionals call professionals. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to use the resources. Uh, and if you don't know what you need, that's okay too. Call and ask. And if you call somebody and you get friction, then find somebody else, because there are people out there. There are lots of professionals out there who are going to come and help you, and they appreciate knowing that you appreciate their knowledge and professionalism, and you treat everybody that way, and it makes life so much easier. So thank the professionals in your life, utilize their skills and knowledge, and don't be afraid to do that, and don't be afraid to say, "I don't know, I need help with this." That is how you move forward on whatever it is that you're doing. So thank you very much, and again, please subscribe. I'm doing this often. A lot of times it's kind of just the snapshot of the day at the theater and how we get things done. I'm really trying to do more of this at the theater, but the days are so packed. I often don't find. Uh, I, I I get to the end of the day and realize, oh, I never pulled the camera out. So I will make the effort to do more so you can see more of what's going on in the shop instead of just hearing about it from me. I do have to be careful though. I post stuff with our students on our KUSD page. That is our district's fine arts page. So all of that goes through official channels. But I can't, for privacy reasons and just to be polite, I don't post things of current students um, on my personal pages. So that's once they graduate, though, as long as they're okay with it, it's all good. Um, so if you like what we do, if you like what I do, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out the Facebook page, check out our Facebook group, support our projects and programs. If you are not in the southeastern Wisconsin area, support your local theaters and programs. They need you, they need your love, and they deserve it. Everybody needs art. Thank you. Have a good night.